All right.
Yeah, we only recruit EU imports.
Come from multiple angles. That's how we win this fight.
We need to get vision through bot. Are we ready to fight?
I will group with you guys after this serve, okay?
My top line doesn't listen to me, guys. I'm reporting him. What did you guys eat today?
Alright, everybody quiet. No sport, no didn't ask.
I'm going, guys. I'm going. That's good play. Good play, man.
Solid, dude.
Maybe.
Copy.
I copy.
You should play to bottom no matter what.
All right. I really want to talk more about the jungle Sylas because it is one of the unique picks here now for LCS. Awesome. We get more time.
All right, here's your
Sylas,
chance.
buddy.
The stage is set. Regale us with a tale of jungle Sylas.
Well, it is a little bit spoiled because it already got played in the Asia Rift Rivals. However, like I was just talking about before, because I played a little bit versus a Yasuo as well, Sylas, when you land the second E with your abduct, it's one of those abilities that stuns and gives a little mini knockup. So if you have stolen a Yasuo ultimate and you spam it right after, you have 0.5 seconds where you can actually chain it for yourself. Or of course, you can just go to Aatrox, who can land a bunch of them as well. So I'm super excited to see how Wiggily plays it out. Generally, the cooldowns are kind of long early on for Sylas for your first clear. You have to kite back a little bit on the jungle camps to save HP. It actually brings back one of those mechanics that a lot of junglers kind of ignore in the current modern age of jungling. But Sylas definitely benefits from some early kiting, and then later can just power through. You have a huge power psych upon completion of Runic Echoes. Game pause for the mouse issue, of course.
Broken Blade apparently having a couple problems with that. Hopefully we can get it fixed here pretty soon. But one thing about the Sylas, the thing that I think people sometimes also forget about with some of these ultimates, the Yasuo one's a great example. Although Sylas does convert AD ratios to AP ratios when he steals the ultimates from those champions, you don't always get all the bonuses. One of the biggest advantages of using Yasuo's ultimate is the bonus armor penetration you get for 15 seconds afterwards to make it so nobody can really survive your subsequent onslaught. Bonus armor penetration doesn't do anything for a guy who does all magical damage. So Sylas not going to completely benefit from that ulti, but some extra chain CC on his combo never hurt anybody. Now, since we're still paused, I'm going to pose you a question, sir. As a longtime jungler yourself, if you're the junglers on these squads, where are you going to be focusing early?
Well, Sylas is probably going to want to clear out early, but it looks like, let's get back in on the summoner spells. Bjergsen got the final swap on the Cassiopeia, so they were hovering with Yasuo in mid lane and Cassiopeia bottom. They were threatening that swap, having it go over to Zven. And they may still even switch lanes, but I believe it's going to be the Cassiopeia mid. And that is definitely always a target that you can try and burn summoner spells off of early because Corki will have follow-up damage. Great thing about Sylas jungle is he's an independent ganker. He can have a lot of threat coming from the side of the mid lane. We're right back into it. Fixed up the mouse issue, no problem. So, okay, we are going to have Bjergsen on the Cassiopeia. They can still swap it around, but we're expecting the bottom lane of Zven and Smoothie. Yasuo Gragas, that's your target area for the TSM side. Jarvan can do red buff and even go red buff straight down to bottom because all Yasuo lanes, especially Yasuo Gragas, are going to depend on all-ins. And that is greatly accentuated by early jungle pressure. So Zven and Smoothie might actually even call Akaadian super early on in this game. We're going to have to keep track of that path and of the early wards. You can see one already on CLG to see that it is going to be a top side start for Akaadian. That doesn't mean that he can't make a beeline straight to the bottom side of the map, though, after getting red.
Talking about bottom side of the map, worth pointing out, something used to be a staple in the meta, very rarely seen these days, exhaust on both sides of the table here for the bottom laners because Yuumi doesn't have to take flash, went for the very defensive combination of both heal and exhaust because they didn't want to double stack the ignites but still wanted to work towards that all-in offensively. Zven also on the exhaust, so is some ability to deny some of that all-in potential here.
I also want to note that CLG are very well aware of how this bottom lane is going to work. Biofrost actually spends the extra money for this control ward you can see, level 1 control ward on the minimap, protecting them if Jarvan does go for a level 2 into gank towards bottom side of the map. Not only do they have the blue buff warded up, but they're spending extra money on this vision to make sure they can track Akaadian. He now walks over that Scuttle Crab ward on the top half, so they'll be aware that TSM is trying to split the jungle map right now and isolate that Kennen versus Aatrox where they actually have the range advantage.
Akaadian aware that his opponent is clearing his own Raptors at this point, so Akaadian knows that he's not in any danger right now. He'll pick up his own blue, head back to base. Wiggily will cross river and try to steal away his opponent's blue buff here, make sure it's a blue for blue and he doesn't get 3 buff. Shouldn't have any trouble doing this. TSM's laners aren't in a fantastic spot to respond just yet. You can see Bjergsen working his way over there. Some on my way pings coming out, but the bottom lane of TSM won't be able to really interfere with this at all, and Wiggily should secure it.
Got smite, so he should be able to finish it up no problem.
Yep.
And it is a blue trade. With the collapse there, pretty even setup. Bjergsen is extended in the lane, and we talked about ganking Cassiopeia, getting a summoner early. He's hovering top side, though, because he knows where Wiggily was.
Yeah, there's no cleanse or anything here on Bjergsen's Cassiopeia, so can't get out of any CC that might come through. Doesn't really need to, though. The damage isn't threatening enough to make him have to flash out early, but he will lose half HP. Good pressure there from Wiggily.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit of extra health advantage for PowerOfEvil in the 1v1. On the bottom side, meanwhile, we talked about Yasuo, Gragas lanes depend on all ins. If you just have the farming going 50-50 here, it's going to be hard as the game goes on because Stixxay and Biofrost are going to try and poke them down under this turret. You see a nice boomerang blade right there. Does land through the minions as well as harassing the champions. Zven is doing a pretty good job so far of actually landing the last hits, making use of his wind wall and the Qs to be able to get a lot of the CS for himself.
And you can see Biofrost constantly attaching to Stixxay and then immediately jumping out as soon as he has the opportunity to attack there with a couple of autos. Very important on Yuumi at the start of the game because autos actually have a lot of weight in these early fights when your spells don't do a ton of damage. Biofrost making sure he's got as much relevance as possible in this 2v2. Sort of just baiting Zven, hey, throw the tornado at me, I'm just a squishy cat. And then he throws it out, it misses, and Stixxay and Biofrost gonna keep that pressure on, almost already having a plate for themselves here 4.5 minutes into the game.
Meanwhile, the map splitting continues here. If you look at your mini-map, Akaadian has just finished up on this top side jungle, left behind a bunch of wards, taken out the Gromp, and is now taking up the Scuttle Crab, so he's really establishing that this Kennen for Broken Blade gets alone time. It is a winning matchup early on there with Kennen trying to abuse the range discrepancy against Aatrox, whittle him down.
Zven trying to use these wind walls as much as possible to negate some of this damage coming out from Stixxay and Biofrost. You can see Biofrost not suffering any consequences for not starting off with any potions here in the bottom lane. The control ward has not been punished whatsoever, still has that standing tall. Bottom lane going well so far here for CLG, but as you already mentioned, Zven's doing a good job keeping the farm as close as could be expected. As Broken Blade will keep this early pressure onto Ruin here in the top lane. Kennen versus anything melee is going to have an edge early on in the match, while PowerOfEvil and Wiggily take the opportunity to go after a very early Ocean Drake.
Yeah, one of the benefits of splitting the map like this is that CLG retain control of everything under this line. That includes Dragon. So they're able to get a rotation for PowerOfEvil on the Corki. They finish it up, and Ocean Drake early on.
Man.
Is going to go a long way to helping every single one of these matchups, not to mention the Sylas in the jungle as well.
You thought Sivir Yuumi was annoying before, just wait until the spam never ends, as Smoothie and Zven are going to have to deal with that underneath the turret now. Turret almost having already lost that second plate. This is what you expect to see, though, when you have double melee champions into a Sivir Yuumi in the bottom side. Akaadian did move into the enemy jungle, wasn't able to find a whole lot there. Gets back onto his own side here, has the Bomby's Cinder first, while Wiggily did go straight for the jungle item upgrade, so has the extra combat power in terms of the Skirmisher Smite, but that's about it. Wards placed down by TSM, also in the CLG jungle. You can see a Trinket Ward on the backside of the red pit, also the Control Ward placed down in this brush that's seldom walked through in the top side of TSM's jungle.
Yeah, we'll see. You have to be very cautious, you know, after trading jungle quadrants early on. You have to assume that there are wards left behind by the enemy jungler. using sweepers liberally to make sure that your next moves are not over vision. Currently, Akaadian, we saw this invade was supported so well by both Bjergsen and the bottom lane moving in to support him in his efforts to keep this Sylas jungle down. Akaadian is now level 6, first to the power spike, and looking bottom.
And you could see that TSM also did a good job using Broken Blade, advantage over Ruin in the top side to keep Wiggily away from stealing the TSM red buff for a little while longer. He will find his way into that top part of the jungle to steal that away now, but they delayed him enough that he does have about a 3-camp deficit when you compare it to Akaadian's farm in the jungle so far, as Akaadian will once again look to make something happen here in the bottom lane.
Are they?
Stixxay and Bio, level 6 here for Stixxay.
Bjergsen's headed down too. This is a 4-person TSM row.
Here we go. Smoothie going in. Stixxay keeping himself alive for now. Bio trying to keep him alive. Zven's going to be outplayed and taken down. First blood over to CLG, and TSM's thirst will be punished. 2 down as CLG look for more. The Yuumi projectile prowls its way onto the TSM health bars, but they won't take the fight any further.
That is huge for CLG. They counter the dive. They do use both teleports to do it, so you can see on the top side, Broken Blade will now push in the minions for TSM, but this is so big for CLG. Smoothie goes down, he ignites early so that the heals from Yuumi are going to be less effective, but he has to get out because the tower shots and the double teleports are coming in. Stixxay dodged that Q from Zven, dodging some of the extra critical damage there, and since Ruin's able to jump over the wall on Aatrox, they pick up the second kill for CLG, resulting in some more money to try and even up this matchup, because as we talked about before the replay, Broken Blade did get time to push that minion wave into the tower and get a turret play.
TSM might have saved a death there if Smoothie tanked one more turret shot. He did just immediately walk out of the range of the turret, still could have absorbed one more of those. Doesn't matter now because that's not the way it played out for TSM, but just seemed a little too trigger happy.
And after that play, the gold is very, very close to even because of the extra money. It's just that it's located in such different places, right? We're going to have the Kennen here be the big power point for TSM. Meanwhile, bottom side just got a big boost for CLG. We'll see if they can have any sort of return ganks, because the level 6s coming in are very dangerous. TSM now has Yasuo level 6. Smoothie will be short to follow. And without summoner spells, CLG's bottom side have to play much more defensively than they've been able to play thus far in the matchup.
Those double defensive summoner spells on Biofrost did wonders for keeping Stixxay alive against that bottom lane dive of TSM. Bjergsen moves up and tries to steal away that large chicken, but he won't be able to. Broken Blade defending against Ruin, who does have the red buff up top here on the Aatrox. Makes him a little bit scarier in these 1v1s, and Broken Blade's definitely getting the better of him here for now. Akaadian on the bottom side, just trying to clear out some vision around the river. Scuttle Crab going to be spawning here in a moment. And look at all that TSM vision placed down in the bottom side of the CLG jungle, creating a path for Bjergsen to once again slither down into the bottom lane and try to make a play. Wiggily is here, but they're trying to collapse onto him. Bjergsen able to land the poison. Stixxay and Biofrost running themselves away. They don't have a way out of this one. Wiggly's looking to turn it back around, at least make it a 1-for-1. Bjergsen's going to be taken down. Broken Blade into the fight. As Zven takes down Stixxay, CLG have made it an even trade so far. TSM, 5 men bottom, trying to back away. Nice dodge away from the prowling projectile from Broken Blade. Akaadian disengaging now. Zven gonna be under pressure. Shield about to come back up. It will barely protect him, but it will not do enough. And CLG will have a 2-for-1. Kobe, can they make it free? I think they might. Akaadian gets hit by the big one, and PowerOfEvil brings CLG to 5 kills.
The Sylas jungle with the chase down there gets the kill on Zven with the chains, and you can hear the crowd. There is new life in the CLG end of this rivalry.
The last time CLG beat TSM, I still lived in the middle of a cornfield, Kobe. It has been a hot minute since this team really brought the threat to TSM, and it is an incredible thing to watch as CLG will now go for their second elemental Drake of the game. That one's picked up no contest, and they have a solid early lead.
All right, let's take another look at how this happened, because this time around, the teleport discrepancy is in favor of TSM. They teleport in, they go for the all-in, but Wiggily takes down Bjergsen with the Sylas. We talked about trying to 1v1 solo laners, and that means there's a counter kill for CLG, and TSM are in enemy territory. So while they're walking away here, they're taking so much damage from PowerOfEvil's Corki. Constant rockets hitting, and Wiggily finds Zven under the tower, so he gets to chunk him out to 50% and ends it with the chains there. Then the Prowling Projectile finds the slow onto Akaadian, and PowerOfEvil landed, must be like 8 rockets in a row from the Corki to be able to chunk down TSM members as they were leaving CLG territory. DPS is definitely going to be one of the key factors here as CLG pull ahead with the first real significant lead.
Ruin trying to fight up against Broken Blade here. Akaadian waiting in the lane. Walked up through the brushes, trying to set up the lane gank. Wiggly's going to show up now as well. This will turn into a 2v2, and it is going to get sloppy because Broken Blade has ultimate. This is so powerful in these 2v2s. Ruin immediately going to pop the World Ender, going in, but that was way too soon. You don't revive automatically anymore, my friend. The PowerOfEvil shows up, mop and bucket, janitorial duty in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely a mistake from Ruin there. Not the old Aatrox where you get to revive before you get a kill. So he definitely gets annihilated, but because PowerOfEvil roams up, CLG still get a kill on it, and he's going to try and push top while Wiggily rotates down to the mid lane to finish that one up.
More plate money going over to CLG now as well as PowerOfEvil collects some of that, puts some auto attacks into Broken Blade here too. A couple more auto attacks might get those plates. Sven still farming up here on the bottom side. Let's take another look as Ruin goes in.
Yeah, Ruin has the confidence of his teammates behind him, but Kennen ultimate and Akaadian, really good heads-up play with the Jarvan. He goes all in, uses all of his abilities to burst down and trade 1-for-1 for TSM. CLG definitely still happy to get that kill, and as we said, they also are able to push out both of the lanes. Bottom side, they're actually even getting some work done on the tower plates as CLG do a lane swap to finish top side with Stixxay and Biofrost.
Turret plating does go down, so no more of those to be picked up. But as we crest that 14-minute mark, checking in, 2,500 gold, a very commanding lead here for CLG. Next Elemental Drake coming up will be an Infernal, which will go a long way for a squad that has a high damage top laner and jungler as well. Prowling Projectile fired off, and Bjergsen knows he can't stick around for that.
Yep, the Sivir Yuumi doing their work, especially in a 2v1 scenario. There's going to be a lot of danger there for Bjergsen. Constant harassment comes out. You can see the rest of TSM are trying to defend with some ward placements of their own. Smoothie heads up. They're also calling in Akaadian. Duo roaming with the jungle and support to make sure that Cassiopeia is not the victim of a dive. Sylas comes through, though. Brute force from Wiggily.
Wiggly showing up, 2 levels up over Smoothie's Gragas, so not too afraid here. Has also stolen away the Jarvan ulti. Pretty big power in that one, but everybody walks away.
Yeah, it gets insane with Jungle Sylas after the first couple clears because you start getting cooldown reduction with your jungle item, with the parts of your proto belt here. It really does turn into a real solo lane level threat, even in professional play. And you can see all the respect is being given. You annihilate jungle camps. One of the changes when they nerfed lane Sylas that was given back to jungle Sylas is that you get 2 charges of your passive that can stack up when you use abilities. So you don't have to worry about auto attacking in between all the time. You can rush in with a double E or something like that and use 2 abilities, then still feel good about having value of the rest of the stacks of your passive. It really does, you know, make the clear a bit smoother, but also we saw it on the top side there with his little exchange. A lot more damage is available. Riftchild started up, but they might have to back off here. Doing some ward duty first.
And bottom side, Ruin's in some trouble. Trying to get away from the turret. TSM committing so many people to this one. Ruin has no way out. He's stuck in the Cataclysm. He tries to escape. Gonna need another dash. Akaadian has to try to tank up the turret here a little bit longer. Just buy a little bit of time. Ruin again, just keeping everyone down here. TSM will find their kill, but it comes at the cost. Oh no.
That's a mistake.
Shelly lost her patience, and CLG lost their opportunity for the free objective. Stixxay will continue applying the pressure here in the mid lane. PowerOfEvil will restart Shelly, but that's the trouble of trying to keep it aggroed so far to the edge of its patience range. A bit of an error there.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big delay on them. They still push in mid, and they're transitioning over to the Infernal Drake. Is that delay enough to give TSM the opening? If they catch them 4v5 at this dragon, it could be disaster.
That could be one of the biggest mistakes of the game, actually, as we see the consequences of this play out. Infernal Drake immediately jumped on by TSM. Nice pickup there, punishing their opponent's lack of readiness. Prowling projectile moving forward. Ruin coming in from the side. Remember, no World Ender ready to go. Wiggily has stolen the Kennen ultimate. There is no hourglass on this Sylas, though. No stopwatch, so he is vulnerable if he goes into the middle of everyone. But speaking of vulnerable, there goes the Gragas. Wiggily going forward. The stuns come down. The damage goes out. Wiggily thrown up into the air. Here comes Zven. TSM trying to turn it around, and Wiggly's going to be shut down. One more auto attack does it, and Ruin's in Reset City. Broken Blade runs off to the side, and CLG are still pushing forward.
Yeah, actually a fairly closely fought fight there when Zven gets a counter kill, but CLG have the Rift Herald. PowerOfEvil stuck around and finished it up. That Rift Herald, with the extra person advantage on the map, they can run her right into the inhibitor turret.
I doubt they will get this turret, but they will at least make sure they get some damage into it there. Shelly will take off half the HP before she's picked up by Smoothie. CLG have lost the Infernal, but they go for the fight out.
Look at this. Wiggily with the jungle Sylas with Yuumi attached. Biofrost lands the Prowling projectile into the ultimate, which secures them the first kill. Then they go all in with the chains as well. Knockup from Zven allows a counter kill from TSM. However, with that commitment, Ruin is able to chase him down, and that is going to be another extra kill for CLG on the exit.
CLG making those plays happen still. Look at the items coming online too. Proto Belt done for Wiggily. PowerOfEvil up to 2 items. Rapid Fire Cannon allowing that Corki to easily get the proc of the ultimate plus the proc from the Spellblade on the Trinity Force means really reliable poke from a very long range from this guy. Top side, Bjergsen will go up there to answer the push coming out from PowerOfEvil, but TSM seemingly just not making these fights work this game. CLG appears to be the more coordinated squad. Wiggily always on the front lines. You were talking about Jungle Sylas, the champion, earlier. I want to talk about Jungle Wiggily, the player. This guy has been one of the reasons we have seen so much life breathed into CLG for the first time in what seems like forever.
Really has brought a new face to the team. It was off the back of the Sejuani early on in the season, now showing his power on a carry jungler. And Ruin here on the bottom half of the map. Aatrox took his licks early on in lane phase, as you have to versus Kennen. Got focused a lot, but now be able to push out because of the extra map pressure from CLG, and they do get that bottom turret. A little bit of extra gold in their pockets. This is a fairly significant gold lead, but Stixxay!
Oh, Stixxay had a really nice spell shield there. He's going to flash away and keep himself alive, but only for a moment. Counterattack damage coming out now. Zven going to be taken very low.
Oh,
keeping himself alive. The tornado does it, but Ruin's able to find the reset in time. Shut down over for Bjergsen. That's going to pop PowerOfEvil. And finally, TSM gets a fight.
That's actually a huge opening for TSM. Getting those 2 kills and the shutdown. PowerOfEvil goes down, Stixxay goes down. Those are the 2 carries. TSM now have run of the map, and Baron's available, but there's no teleport for Bjergsen. They would have to have the Cassiopeia there. Cassiopeia is one of the biggest threats for a Baron towards the later stages of the game. They don't really have anyone to take it up, and he had to go back to base. So here's another look at the all-in onto Stixxay. Really nice combination there from TSM. They get the knockup combo. Zven here trying to get away to live so Aatrox doesn't get a reset, but Ruin chases him down. Gets the extra kill there, and after he secures that, we're into a 1v1!
Oh, meanwhile, that 1v1 is gonna turn into a solo kill for Wiggily! He tries to get away from Akaadian, turning it right back around, able to find some vamp. The Kingslayer! It's Jamie Lannister, baby! Wiggly's going right back in after Akaadian. PowerOfEvil shows up for the kill, and there you go! CLG 2-for-0.
Never underestimate the Sylas health gain off of Kingslayer. Coming from the jungle, coming from the solo lane, he's able to get the 2v1. Challenging Smite there, used super effectively after to ensure that he's not going to get bursted down, and he can wait out the cooldowns. Now it's going to be Baron for CLG.
CLG, a 21-minute Baron against TSM. 6,000 gold ahead. Let's take another look at this man's plays.
Well, we said he can 1v1 solo laners, Captain Flowers, and he does it with the Kennen ultimate. Gets extremely low there, kind of on the knife's edge, but you want to use that heal very low. Akaadian then goes in to try and answer. He lands the shield off of the second half of the chains there. You buy enough time for your Kingslayer to come back up. Huge burst healing. That means Jarvan's got nothing left in the tank, and he was able to use another charge of the challenging smite. It's a very important part of this jungler. Having 2 of those charges saved up allows Wiggily to turn everything in CLG's favor. Now with the Baron buff, they can reset. TSM trying to start a sneak on this dragon, though.
Ruin over the wall, trying to find Broken Blade. TSM going after the Drake. They will find it, but at what cost? Wiggily has Hourglass. If he goes in the middle with a big ulti, that's going to be a Cataclysm onto 2. Zven should be taken very low. Guardian Angel proc off the side. Broken Blade going to be fighting up against Ruin. Resurrection comes out. Zven goes down again. Ruin flashing away to stay alive in the 1 versus 2. 2 dead for TSM. CLG on the push.
And that's not just 2 kills. It's 2 kills with a Baroned up CLG. That means your base is forfeit. They can immediately push down mid lane and at least take an inhibitor.
CLG 5 men strong, pushing it into the tier 3 turret. Still damaged from Shelly's earlier charge. Bjergsen and Broken Blade have no choice but to watch on as the inhibitor takes that damage. Wiggily goes for the Cassiopeia ultimate. TSM have enough help now nearby with Smoothie to try to defend this one. Wiggily goes for the Petrifying Gaze, not quite going to find it, but he buys enough time for the auto attacks to take the inhibitor down. PowerOfEvil continuing to play side lane duty on this Corki. You can see him taking about half the HP off the tier 3 turret. CLG reinforcements regroup on him, and the push will not stop.
All right, CLG relentless here. You can see the power of this Training Force Corki. Teleport from TSM. They're making a play.
The flank's showing up, but Sven's at 200 HP. Wiggily is almost able to kill him with the help coming out from Biofrost Yuumi. Wiggily escaping through the bottom side now. He knows he's running over to Ruin. Bjergsen gets hit by the Prowling Projectile. Wiggily doesn't want to go any closer to this one for now. Wiggily having stolen the Kennen ultimate away. Another big team fight tool there. No flash available on this guy. Hourglass also still down for the time being. CLG putting the pressure onto the tier 3 top inhibitor. Let's see if they can manage to get themselves anything here, or if they're just going to play time buyer as it's time for CLG to smash the final remaining inhibitor turret. The TSM base is in shambles.
40 seconds left on the Baron. They have another wave to work with, too. CLG are sticking around to get these inhibitors. Smoothie goes in.
Smoothie tries to make it happen, but he's not going to do it. Wiggily tries to go in now. Pop of the ulti defensively. It's 2 slicing maelstroms. It's Sven cut down and Broken Blade on the run. TSM can't get anything from this one. They're going to lose 2. They might lose 3. They do get the kill back onto Stixxay. Bjergsen in retreat is cut down by PoE. And CLG are on to the Nexus turrets. TSM are stuck in the fountain. And for the first time in 1,176 days, TSM's Nexus will fall to CLG.